Greetings and warm regards to all my dear ones. I hope you're all doing well and have started a wonderful day. In this video, we're starting from number 41. And as you know, if you've been with us in the previous videos, we started these from number 1 and we're going through them one by one until we reach 101. Thank you for being here. We thank you so deeply for being here with us on this sacred path of love, infinite light, and expanding awareness. And I also give thanks to my own higher self, which is always with me, living within me, constantly guiding me, and always shining its brilliant, divine light throughout my entire body and deep inside me, so that I can truly see the truth of my existence. We all possess this radiant inner light within us, but we often find ourselves so deeply caught up in the trivial matters outside of our own beings that this light simply doesn't allow us to truly see who we are meant to be. And so we are here today, gathered together in this space, to finally rediscover and reclaim our own true inner power. Each of us should be able to read within ourselves, and when we do, we can write the book of our lives more easily, more beautifully, more gracefully, more delicately, and based on our dreams. Now let's move on to number 41. The specific term expectation holds considerable weight and carries a lot of meaning. It means expectation, it means anticipation. Expectations from others, expectations from society, expectations from everyone, even from myself. It's as if we're angry and we don't even know why. Because we had expectations of ourselves. I expected myself to be more successful than I am today. I truly expected myself not to make even a single mistake in that specific situation. And in my own personal opinion, I believe that 90% of all our daily problems come from this one very word, the simple fact that I had such high expectations for myself. I truly expected something meaningful from you, but unfortunately you didn't do it for me. If we can somehow come to terms with this difficult word and bring our heavy expectations from other people, from the society we live in, from our governments, and even from the vast universe itself, down to a total of 0, and fully accept the reality that no one else is ever responsible for me. Then we realize that no one is ever obligated to do exactly what I wanted them to do for me in the first place. It is a profound shift in how we view our personal responsibility and our connections to the world around us. We all have expectations. We expect things from others. Now, how much we do or don't do for others is our own choice. No one has insisted that I should show kindness to anyone. It satisfies me personally to show kindness, to give love because I enjoy it. But if we remove the expectation of love in return from ourselves, that's what becomes unconditional love. I did this act because I wanted to. Today, I invited you here because I wanted to, but if I did this in exchange for something else, then that's a transaction. And since this transaction only happens within me, a transaction should be a contract where both parties are aware of it. We make a contract with ourselves that I will do this for so and so in exchange for wanting something else from them. This contract is one-sided. I made it with myself. In fact, in the universe, in divine law, such a contract is not right. It is not valid. And then comes expectation. I have expectations from my child. I have expectations from my friend. I have expectations from my sister. I have expectations from my parents. When we reach the age of 12, it means we are mature human beings, whether boy or girl. If a 12-year-old can secretly go and drive his father's car, can go on YouTube and watch whatever he wants, or watch gaming videos and such, or can defend himself when he doesn't want something, even tell his mother that he doesn't like a certain food, then he has the right to choose. That means they're mature, that means they know well enough. They don't throw themselves into a ravine because they're sensible, they have reason, their brain works. From the age of 12 onward, expecting things from others is unreasonable. Why didn't you cook the food I liked today? Go learn for yourself, kid, and cook for yourself. And maybe by the age of 15, you'll reach a point where you realize that you're a good cook and you can cook for your parents and others as well. So, if we find ourselves struggling with a specific trait or a recurring problem, we really need to take the time to sit alone in silence and truly judge for ourselves whether the various problems I have in my life are actually because I deeply expected that when I showed genuine affection to someone in my own special way, it would be naturally returned to me. But unfortunately, it simply wasn't. Let's write this answer for ourselves on the left side of the paper. I made a mistake in such and such situation. And exactly at that moment, it's possible that many of the problems you have are because you had unnecessary expectations from someone. No one is obligated to give you something just because you did something or wished to receive something from them and didn't get it in anything. I was deceived, or I feel like I was deceived. I made a deal with someone and couldn't get what I wanted from them. You did this to yourself. The truth is that I'm quite upset with you right now because I truly expected you to treat me in a much more respectful way on that particular day. No, we certainly can't dictate to other people exactly what they should do, but we absolutely do have the fundamental right to set firm boundaries around ourselves against those individuals who we feel have clearly violated our own personal space and sense of peace. Absolutely no one has the right to enter my personal space unless I choose to open the door for them myself. And if I do decide to open that door for them, then I truly have no grounds for any complaints whatsoever. I close this door now because just as I knew how to open it, I also know how to close it. But other issues come up for me that stop me from doing this because it's not in my best interest. And when we look closely at these things in our own lives under a magnifying glass, we truly realize, wow, I was the one at fault. All my problems come from myself. Then there is no more resentment. Whenever someone shows you genuine kindness, warmly greets you with a smile, or perhaps even gives you a thoughtful gift, the only thing that you should do in return is to show them your sincere gratitude. I thank you. I fully understood and appreciated the situation. I had a high enough level of social awareness to realize that you spent so much of your time and effort and you did all of this just so that I could finally reach what I wanted. In every situation, in every relationship, marital, romantic, emotional, boyfriend and girlfriend, employee and boss, the employee must work. The boss is paying them. I didn't expect it to turn out this way. You are getting paid for your time and you truly have to do your absolute best. And if you go to work, get your salary, and don't really do your full duty, it's honestly one of the biggest sins. You all know I'm not a religious person at all. I don't believe in religion at all. I'm talking about divine sins, and this sin doesn't just disappear. I'm not punished. I don't go to hell. But this particular sin causes me to fall into a deep state of depression over the course of 3 long years because of all this waiting. I find that I simply cannot succeed in my professional work or daily tasks, and it feels as though the entire universe is closing all of its doors right in front of me. We are really talking about those specific things where we ourselves have effectively closed the doors on our own lives, and then we mistakenly begin to complain about the actions of others around us. However, the moment when I finally find the right key, that heavy problem will no longer have a way to come into my life ever again. Number 42. Do you often find yourself waking up early in the morning in a bad mood and immediately start telling yourself, ugh, here we go again. It is just another long day filled with even more problems and more endless miseries? Who knows what else is going to happen in my life, in my business, in my relationship? I'm just tired now. Saying this simple good morning to yourself and hearing my own voice echo back threefold into the depths of my daily life makes me wonder, what exactly does the vast universe want from me behind all of these mysterious occurrences? And I kept complaining like this. The universe gives me exactly what I ask for. It says, well, this person is complaining, so they must want more. It gives me back those very things I'm complaining about threefold. Or you wake up in the morning and say, thank God my eyes can see. The weather is good. There hasn't been an earthquake, and for now, no one has died. I can move my hands, I can move my legs, I can get up and make myself breakfast and coffee. What gift do I want to receive today? Because every day is like going to school for us. Every day, like a little child, we go to the school of the universe and we don't know what we will learn there and we don't know what we will receive there. But if I start my morning by thinking about what gift I want to receive today, this gift could be an encounter or a smile from someone else. This meaningful gift could perhaps be a profound piece of life altering advice from someone special that changes my life. It could be just a random something that I happen to hear someone say while walking down the street, and then all of a sudden a bright light just turns on right here in my mind. All the abstractions that have been closed off, closed because of despair, because I think I'm bad, the world is bad, everything is against me, these have been shut tight, and suddenly they open up. How do you wake up in the morning? Are you fighting? Are you anxious? One of the things we need to remind ourselves of every day is that, first of all, we should live as if we only have 1 week left because none of us knows when we'll go. So I live in a way that makes me think this is the last time I'm seeing this person. It's the last time I'm coming here. It's the last time I'm doing this action. It's the last time I'm hugging someone, hugging a loved one, because I don't know if they'll be here next week or not. And deliberately take each of my steps in such a way. These are truly valuable lessons for a lifetime, as if I might continue to live for another half a century or more. Can I find a balance between the possibility that I might die in a week or live for another 50 years and take my steps accordingly? If we can maintain this balance, considering that we all know we come into this world naked and leave it naked as well. People know, all of them know, that we are born naked and we leave this world naked too. But throughout our entire lives, from the day we are born until the moment we become aware of ourselves, when they teach us from the age of 6 to fight, we are struggling right up to the very last moment of death. I want to get more. I feel less than that person. I want to take more from this one. I want to be above that one. Someone else has something I don't have. The whole time I am at war with others and at war with myself. Or I tell myself I'm worthless, I wasn't capable, I didn't succeed. What kind of life is this? Why did that person do this to me? Why didn't they return my kindness? All the time I'm fighting with everyone, with everything, and most importantly with myself. So write down number 42 and note where from morning till night you are fighting. Instead of swimming with the current, you're constantly struggling and flailing. I have to get this. I have to finish this particular task. How about saying with love that I'm so healthy that I can finish today's task, today's list? The goal is the same. It's our reaction that's different. This example, I think, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in my book or in the videos. Three people were arguing, and a fourth person came over and asked, "Why are you guys fighting?" They said, "We want to make a deal, but these others are talking about different things. They want to invest in other things." And he asked, "Well, what do you want?" He said, I want to invest in our vineyard." The other partner, who was Turkish, said, "I want to invest in uzam." The next one said, "I want to invest in the grape orchard." The fourth person looked at them and said, "You're all saying the same thing. You all truly want to invest your time and energy into growing grapes, but you speak in many different languages and approach it in so many different ways. And when that sudden feeling of anger comes over us, we find that we simply can't express ourselves properly at all. We lose the ability to truly listen to what others are saying to us. Come on, we all have just one vineyard and we're all investing in that." And now moving on to number 43, your life is today. Do you see someone else as responsible for who you are? You take immense pride in every one of your victories and loudly say, "I did it." But for all the things you failed to achieve, you simply choose to blame others. My own father simply would not let me. My dear mother wouldn't let me. And even my husband wouldn't let me do it. Ultimately, we are entirely responsible for our own lives. If someone else has made decisions for you, you need to correct that as well. Why did you allow someone else to make decisions for your life? So you were lacking something somewhere. At some point, you avoided taking responsibility for your own independence. You hid yourself away and tried to be clever by handing over the responsibility to someone else. And then when things didn't turn out right, now you sit and say it was your fault. You did this. You caused my migration. Where were you to voice your opinion and say that you were against migration or millions of other issues? At this very moment, where exactly do we find ourselves in the long journey of our lives? Is it time for me to step up and take full responsibility for the person I have become today, regardless of the place where I live or the circumstances I face? Or should I simply choose to sit back in silence and continue to blame someone else for all of my own personal misfortunes and the various challenges that I have encountered along the way? And pointing fingers and blaming other people will never truly help me stand back up on my own 2 feet and effectively eliminate that difficult problem from my life forever. We are all the authors of our own lives. Every day we write a page in the book of our lives. So today, let's try to write it much more beautifully than before. Let's take our time to write it exactly the way we like, and then let's move on to number 44. Tell me, do you still find yourself holding on to that sense of false pride? I'm too important to go and apologize to that person. My pride won't let me choose this job. I told you it would be like this. I am absolutely always right, and you really have to pay attention to exactly what I say. Do you have these traits in yourself that you feel you possess a much deeper understanding than everyone else, that you're far more intellectually advanced than others, and that everyone else is fundamentally mistaken while you are operating on a significantly more elevated perspective than them? If you happen to possess this specific personality trait, you must understand that the heavy burdens of narcissism and excessive pride ultimately end up damaging and breaking no one else in this world quite as much as they will inevitably break your own spirit and well being over time. Not a single towering building you've ever built will ever truly bring you any sort of real credit. That means it could completely collapse. Aware people are like trees. The more fruit a tree bears, the lower it bows its head. Are you proud? Do you take pride in yourself for any reason, maybe because of your wealth, your distinguished family, your status, or anything else? Have you ever thought that there might be someone else who will come one day and break you? If I don't rely on my own inner qualities and who I truly am as a person, and instead choose to take a great deal of pride in something completely outside of myself, such as my husband's achievements, his social status, my own professional title, the beautiful and spacious house I have, my good looks, my attractive figure, my extensive and prestigious education, or absolutely anything else of that nature. If I take a sense of pride from something outside of myself, that is inherently fragile and it is something that can be stripped away from me. Individuals often feel they can boast to one another because, based on the established standards of our society, certain people are ranked higher, while others are considered to be lower. But when an earthquake strikes, we all get scared. We all look for a place to hide. When someone is standing in front of me with a gun, I no longer have that pride. I might even fall at the feet of the person standing in front of me with a gun. So pride is one of those traits that, for whatever reason, if we have these egos, we need to separate them from ourselves. There is no me. I might, when facing someone weaker than myself, think, I know more than you, I am better than you, I live in a better place. But somewhere else, that same person who is proud know that he is a servant to someone else, meaning he still hasn't reached true spirituality, hasn't discovered the core of spirituality yet. The next question is, am I satisfied with my job? Do I even have a job? Or is someone else supporting me financially? If someone else is paying for me, I need to sit and think that I must have a talent. I'm sure everyone has a talent. From today, I should go and discover my own talent. If the person who is supporting me financially is gone one day, I should be able to support myself, whether it's through sewing clothes, washing the dishes, treating people, healing the sick, being a professional doctor, or doing anything else at all. Can I support myself without the person who is paying for me? Or if you are among those who have a job, do you like your job? Do you wake up in the morning and go to work with passion? Or did you perhaps choose this specific career path just to meet society's rigid and demanding expectations, simply to be accepted by those around you, or to finally have a prestigious title that is incredibly long, impressive, and full of deep meaning attached to your name for everyone to see. And if you've been forcing yourself for 2 years, 6 years, 10 years, 15 years, or even 20 years to go to a job that makes you suffer every day, meaning you don't go with passion, then do a little test on yourself. Ask yourself, if I had $20 million in my account, would I still continue with this job or not? And if the answer is yes, I promise you that you have truly reached spirituality. You know yourself. You are a credible and effective person for society, and you are working on the path of light. This job is a job in service to humanity. I promise you, if your answer is absolutely the same, I have 20 million in my account, but I still continue with this job. Or do you immediately say, that's it, tomorrow morning, by phone even, I'll call my boss and say I'm not coming in and I'll go after something else? And when you say you'll go after something else, do you know what you're going after? Is it clear to you where you want to be in 10 years, 20 years? What job you want to have, whether it's this job or another one? Do you go to work just to make money, or is it because of the passion you have for that job? Based on this, on the left side of your paper, give yourself a score, number 46. Manipulating is a type of personality that some people have. It means you change something, you twist the story in a different way so that it benefits you. The real story is here, but the story I make up is completely different, just so I can defend myself or because I did something I don't want to be revealed. This specific personality trait tends to develop quite frequently in individuals whose parents have gone through a separation or divorce. In these situations, the person often creates one particular story to get something they want from their mother, and then they proceed to craft a completely different narrative just to capture their father's attention and approval. Because the child knows that these two are against each other. As a result, couples who, let me say this in parentheses, couples who separate and speak against each other, they don't realize what a huge lifelong harm this personal anger against my husband or my wife causes to the child, to the point that even at the age of 50 or 60, this person still has a manipulative personality, meaning they either flatter, lie, or make up stories. They don't tell the truth. They are deeply afraid to tell the whole truth because, as a young child, they often thought that if they simply told the truth, either their mother or their father would be severely punished, and their own truthfulness would surely get them into a lot of trouble. What does it get me into? It gets me into trouble. So I learned that whenever I hit a dead end, whenever things don't go my way, I go and make up a story like I went there, then I went somewhere else, then I went to buy milk. There was no milk, there was no cow, and then we found out that the cow was actually male and didn't have any milk. That's how stories are made. I mean, everyone knows, everyone understands. They're just fooling themselves. If you are the kind of person who constantly fabricates elaborate stories and deliberately conceals the actual truth just to defend yourself, then that is truly one of the most destructive and damaging habits in life. And there is simply no way that you will ever be able to find true inner peace or tranquility. There is simply no possible way that you can ever truly align yourself with that grand universal order that is meant to lift you up. This is because you mistakenly believe that by constantly lying and by making up these elaborate stories, you can somehow manage to get ahead in this world. Or maybe you just want to prove that you weren't at fault and make yourself look much better to everyone else. Now let's think about this. If I was at fault for something, what are you going to do to me? Nothing. I didn't go there. I didn't do that thing because I didn't feel like it, because I was sleepy, because I was lazy, because I was watching TV, because I was having a good time with my friend. How much easier it is to just tell the truth instead of saying something like, I went to get milk from a bull and that's why I came back without any milk. Take a moment to write down on the left side of your paper all the specific instances where you've done this before. And every single day, make a conscious effort to remind yourself, today I'm definitely not going to do this anymore. Maybe a couple more times because it's an addiction, it's a kind of personality, a kind of a habit. And then gradually, after you've told the truth a couple of times and seen that nothing happened, you realize I'm not that child anymore who was afraid of my father divorcing my mother or who wanted to get money from my mother to go and badmouth my father. All of that, I'm not that child anymore. I'm an adult now and I have control over myself. I can make decisions for myself. I can change my life, and I try not to make up stories this week and to tell the truth. Number 47. Are you still deeply committed to an organized religion, a specific political party, a close friend, a government, a philosophy, or even a small sect with an overwhelming sense of fanaticism? That is to say, the very moment I come to express, for example, that my personal religion is fundamentally against yours, or perhaps that I have no religion at all, or even that I simply don't believe in this particular political party, your whole face suddenly turns bright red and you feel this intense urge to silence that person completely. Alternatively, you might start using incredibly harsh language and personal insults. Or it could be that you're not even willing to sit down and talk for a single minute, or even a split second, with someone who happens to disagree with your specific sect or viewpoint. You're an idiot, you're rude, you're ignorant, I'm not going to talk to you at all. Are you that kind of person? Or do you say, this is my belief? I very comfortably sit with people from all sects, and I see them as human beings who simply have beliefs different from mine. I sit and talk with them, and in fact, many of them have convinced me. I've spent hours debating with them and realized, wow, they have the same things I do. Personally, because I have lived in 7 countries around the world, I can say I have seen the whole world except for Africa. Africa always gets left behind. For some reason, it just hasn't happened in my life for me to go and see Africa. But I've been to so many different states, foreign countries, and just about everywhere. I've truly seen it all. Simply because I really believe in the power of traveling. But I have actually lived in 7 different countries over the years. That means I truly had a real home. I owned my own personal furniture. I made many wonderful friends. I studied and learned the local language, and I really got to know their unique culture. And the important conclusion I can share with you today from all of this experience is that Africans, Americans, Asians, Australians, and all of the Europeans, we are all fundamentally the same deep down inside. We share the same hopes, the same dreams, and the same basic human needs, no matter where we happen to live on this planet. Only our actions are different, our appearances are different. All humans are the same. Every single human being has deep seated fears and anxieties. All humans constantly seek a sense of true awareness and unconditional love. People naturally want kindness. They desire long term security, and they strive for lasting happiness. However, at some point in their lives, many individuals get lost somewhere along the way and must start searching for a new path to follow. It really doesn't matter if one woman is a blonde haired woman from the United States and another woman has distinctive Asian features and is communicating in a completely different tongue, even if many people might think at first glance that they have absolutely nothing in common with each other. As human beings living on this shared planet, we are all fundamentally looking for the exact same things in our lives. We seek deep love, inner light, and a true sense of lasting security. We often find ourselves fighting for it. Sometimes we even kill for it. And we spend the entirety of our whole lives struggling and striving for it simply because, at our core, we do not want the devastation of war. And when we take a moment to look at all people with a sense of equality, we see that everyone truly wants to have a good day, enjoy a simple and nourishing meal, lead a fulfilling life, maintain a safe and healthy family, and have the profound opportunity to both give love and receive love in return. And when you choose to look at everyone in this compassionate way and notice that today someone is incredibly angry, perhaps even showing their finger while driving just because you happen to go a little bit ahead, instead of immediately responding and showing your own finger back in frustration, you can just look at them calmly and think to yourself, this poor person is also completely unaware of their actions. They have clearly also had a very bad day. They are feeling deeply angry inside, and they are also suffering immensely because they haven't yet found that inner security and true love. And that is exactly why they are reacting in this aggressive way right now. Have we truly reached a mature point in our lives where we can effectively manage and regulate our own internal feelings of anger when we are faced with someone who expresses a very different perspective or viewpoint than ours? And can we maintain our composure during such moments? Now, who that hero is another story. If I am fanatical about something, that itself comes from my ignorance. I can't make myself angry in order to defend another person. Now, that person might be the president of the government. Fanaticism in any field is a dangerous thing. Even if someone says something incredibly hurtful or bad about my very close friend, or if they insult my sister, or speak ill of my mother, or perhaps they choose to insult my brother or belittle my father, I must ensure that I have enough self control within myself that instead of immediately fighting with them or reacting in anger, I simply say, that's your opinion. But deep in my heart, I tell myself, one day in the future, you will finally understand that that father, that specific person you judged, wasn't actually a bad person at all. It was only your own internal anger that made you see them as bad in that moment. It was your mistaken judgments and your narrow perspective that made you see them as bad, rather than seeing the truth of who they really were. When we are deeply invested in things we are passionate about, do we maintain control over our anger? Or is it possible for us to become fully aware of our emotions, talk openly with the other person, and convince them of our point of view? Which way do you think is shorter, easier, more humane, and more comfortable? With constant fighting and overwhelming anger, nothing ever moves forward except that I am taking myself one step closer to a heart attack, a stroke, failure, and a greater sense of despair. Today's video time is over. I entrust all of you to the one God, the God that we all have, in whom we share something in common. We have one Father, and that is our Creator, and we are His children. I leave you in His care. We are all completely safe and secure. We all possess an infinite amount of love within us, and we are all made of pure, radiant light. But despite this truth, we still haven't fully learned this vital lesson yet. And so we have come here today to gently remind ourselves of all the beautiful things that we have simply forgotten over time. That's all my job is. The things you already know, I'm just reminding you of them. I'm bringing our attention to things that we know well but have forgotten. I send my love and kisses to the kind hearts of all of you. And until the next video, I pray that God will protect and keep you.